Often in cinema, characters, narrative, or even acting garner all of the applaudances on determining whether or not a film is good. But I'd like to argue what truly makes a compelling film great is the story within the story. And who other than Akira Kurosawa and his film Rashomon. Rashomon is a 1950 psychological thriller about how ambiguity plays an enormous factor in discovering the truth in a murder, finding out what actually happened that day. Kurosawa formats the film by having the four people recount the events of the murder: a woodcutter, a bandit, a samurai, and a woman. One by one, each is given the opportunity to speak their truth about what really happened that day, but they all tell a different story. So, when presented a story full of lies, who do you believe? Who do you trust? Well, I'm here to tell you how Kurosawa uses visual storytelling and context to fully immerse you into believing what he wants you to believe. When I was first watching this, I was convinced that the one who was telling the truth was Masako, the woman. But why is that? It wasn't what he was telling me, but what he was showing me. When Masako is first introduced, she is presented by riding a white horse in all white attire, shown to represent a pure, divine, angelic figure being led by her samurai. From the get-go, we see her as this noble woman with class. Already, Kurosawa is playing with our biases, giving us a subconscious inkling onto what to believe with these characters. Now take the scene when Masako is giving her testimony. Before a single word is even uttered, we can see that this is a dirty single shot. While she may not be the only character in frame, she does take up the majority of the frame. By being the only character in the foreground, she takes up about 70% of the frame, with the two men taking up 30. This helps direct the viewer's eyes to what is actually important, and that is her while also being positioned on the left side of the shot to simulate a positive outlook as to give her credibility. Now, with all that being said, this shows us that she is the one with all the power, she is the one with all of the control, and she is giving you, the viewer, her testimony. That helps make it all the more convincing to the viewer, as she is later shown sobbing on the floor. And Kurosawa lets you sit with her as she sorrows away. You can't help but feel empathetic towards her. You can't help but feel sorry for her. So already we have been given the visual clues of how she's presented, where she is positioned in the frame, what she is doing in said frame, all to give her power and credibility to further convince the viewer in her. Kurosawa, being a filmmaker influenced by silent films, is shown by his attention and care as he portrays a ton of information that the subconscious mind picks up on, to go that extra mile to fully immerse his audience with his visual storytelling.